Happy Friday, peeps! Oh, that's not right. Psh, take two. Happy Friday, everybody. At least I hope it's a happy Friday for you. Made it through yesterday, which was it was a good day. It was crazy, but it was a good day. It would appear that I have shared this lovely disease with my husband, unfortunately. So he started his antibiotics yesterday. So hopefully he is able to get through it quickly. Pardon me. And it's a little later in the morning, close to 10 o'clock this morning. Friday mornings are the days or the times where I don't have classes officially. I have never understood this. And nor does my current principal, honestly. Our school has been large enough to have two full-time PE teachers forever. But for some reason, for music, we have one full-time, which is my partner. You have 0.9, which is me. And that's all we have currently. For the longest time while I was working there, we actually had a 0.1, which would have been technically two full-time music teachers, but they separated it so that that 0.1 could be there to help us on PD days for rotations. And last year, while I was teaching remotely at a different school, they took that away because of numbers and online versus in person and whatnot. And they never gave it back. And if you hear Alterra fussing, that's because there's a lot of high winds in our area. It's very humid, and he hasn't gotten to see his feral friend today. Not yet, anyway. He's hoping she comes over soon. I did put food out for her, like I typically do. But of course, I'm starting later, so schedule's a little weird. And sometimes it doesn't mesh with whatever her routine is. So she'll be over when she's over. I'm betting he's probably going out to the garage about now to see if he can use the acoustics in order to make his voice heard by her. I'm not sure how he managed to figure that one out. But he does, between prowling back and forth. Don't you? Psst, psst. Don't you? You come say hi? You come say hi? No, you're just wanting pets. You really want me to take you out, I know, but no, we're not taking, no. Not this morning, anyway. He actually goes out occasionally. We have a harness for him. And sometimes I'll take him out front in order to politely play around with his feral friend. Or just hang out. And he checks the perimeter. He's very much a security cat, too. Yeah. Very vocal. Anyway, so Fridays. Oh, Fridays I get to see my third graders and kindergartners. My third graders, I think most of them managed to get their compositions fixed, so they should be about ready to truly start on Minecraft. So I will show them tips today to do that if they haven't started already. or even if they have, I mean, they can always go back and change things up. As I keep telling them, they are the composers. They're the engineers, the builders. And I can't wait to see what they create. Kindergarten. We'll see how kindergarten's doing today. They were struggling a bit on Wednesday. Lots of wiggles and stuff. So we might change things up a little bit, depending upon how they're doing today. My plan is to try to start experimenting with sounds of the classroom instruments for them to create sound stories. But like I said, we'll see how they're doing today. Like yesterday, my first graders, one class was really awesome, where talkative, yeah, okay. But they followed directions well enough, they were calm enough that they were able to do an activity independently while I helped most of the rest of the class get set up with Minecraft Education Edition on their iPads. Because this class, that first class, has not been on there. They have not used Minecraft on there yet. So some of them actually got on there and were practicing building and everything on there. They've played, a lot of them have played at home, but not with iPads, like with the Pocket Edition of Minecraft. So trying to navigate getting inventory and different blocks and things, they have to figure that sort of thing out. Which, of course, they're kids. They're super quick. And some have had experience with it, I guess. So they're helping each other out. Collaboration is wonderful, isn't it? But the second class, one of my favorite classes, because they have grown quite a bit. But I do have a few friends that still have issues off and on, but that's, that's life. And they are learning how to deal with them. But yesterday was a rough day for them. And we, unfortunately, we had to go on with class and just had to let them be them. Gratefully, my principal actually was sitting in there. And I say gratefully because my principal actually, I mean, I can nitpick all I want. Nobody's perfect. But she knows what I've been through. She knows. This is the class that I got called to the carpet for at the very beginning of the year. And she knows how much I have struggled and kept going regardless. And evidently, I did not know, but evidently they had had major issues before coming to me. Issues that probably would have normally warranted them not making it to music at all. That being said, and of course they like to use technology, especially my friends who were having issues yesterday. And so when they found out that they were not going to get technology yesterday, that of course did not help. Because what does a kid do when they don't get what they want? I'll let you fill in the blank. The rest of the class, though, my original plan had been to kind of introduce what they were going to be doing after we had a calm down moment where I just had them sit and catch their breath from PE, and I had some soft music on that had an aquarium background to it, and we just sat for a bit. And when I tried to actually start the lesson, of course, they were really trying, the rest of the class. But it's hard to pay attention when you have two very loud friends having temper tantrums, basically, in the back. And it's like, okay, you know what? I got this. We'll change it up. So we decided we were going to do a bit of a review and focusing on, I basically pulled out my lesson on long and short. Because some of my friends, whether because of the distractions or they were just tired, did not remember the basic rhythms of ta and tt, even though I have it written on the board, and I had it written on the board, which I pointed out as I started, but it was no big deal. We actually had a lot of fun. I think it'll stick a lot more now, because we did practicing of making the connection with their literacy materials. We were taking their names and we were clapping out the syllables for it. And in music, I don't necessarily call it syllables per se, even though that's what it is. I do try to use that terminology to make the connection, but a lot of music teachers I know will just say, how many sounds does a word have? Or how many sounds does a name have? And so we were taking turns clapping out names. And like we started off with our principal's name, and they had to clap it out as they said it, and then they had to show me how many times they clapped. Which is all fine. We got around to one student who, if you were to just say her name and clap it, you'd only clap once. But she's like, but Miss Fuselaar, what if I did and sounded out? And I was like, well, true. And that's what you do when you're sounding out words for in your reading time, your decoding time. And I got to share with them a little bit about what I did last year when I was teaching fully remote, because I did that. I was an ESOL coach remotely all year last year, with the addition of the last 9 weeks. I was the English lead because I was a dual magnet school. So I taught the English portion of math and reading, and there was another lady who led their Spanish studies for the 2nd grade online class. So I got to experience all that. So I love when I'm able to tie that in now, a little bit better than what I was doing, because I truly, well, I better understand it. I don't want to say I truly understand it, but I better understand it. What? I told you, no, I'm not taking you outside right now. What? You want to come say hi? You want to come say hi? Oh, yep. Oh, no. Oops. Dude. Rude. No, you are not messing with my flowers up there. Is that what happened? Is that why there's leaves on the floor? Are you going to do your gargoyle vulture routine now? Okay, anyway. They had fun yesterday. Oh, no, now we're going to play with my hair. Really? And we did some experimenting with showing long and short. We also connected to one of their previous, Oop. You okay? Because they had done Down by the Bay for their concert, and they were showing long and short there. So made a lot of connections yesterday, and then they got to experiment creating with body movement. Because then they had to figure out how they wanted to say their name, and come up with the actions to show it. One of my favorites was for one girl who decided she wanted to pretend she was a dragon. So it was, and she only has 2 syllables to her name. So she would go, Tessa, like one little burst of fire, then one long burst of fire. And of course have everybody else, she leads and shows them how, and then everybody else has to do it. So that's how we finished off our class yesterday. And the sad part was that I got kudos from my principal for ignoring the bad behavior that was going on by the 2. And all those obviously wonderful connections she didn't necessarily acknowledge at the time, which I understand, because her focus being in there was to try to help set an example and to kind of keep an eye on them. I get that. But sometimes it would be nice to say, not only did you do a great job on this, but those were some awesome connections. Or not, but maybe say, that was a wonderful job making all those connections while ignoring the bad behavior or something along those lines. I don't know. And I would never attempt to tell my boss how to do her job, truthfully. Even with all the knowledge that I've gained through teaching elsewhere, subbing, because I used to do that on Friday mornings from time to time. I'm finishing my master's degree, working on this national board certification. Could I be an administrator? You better believe it. Do I want to step into their shoes right now? I would not last, because as much tact as I have learned over the years, let's just say district administration would not like me very much. Or at least not at first. If they let me last long enough to where people around started to notice the changes that would happen around me, maybe. But only in the idea that I'm good PR because of my priorities and how I would be for my staff and students. I see a lot of that in my principal right now, and I see how she is fighting right now, or has fought this year, especially, between what she knows should be priority and what her bosses, the district administration, is telling her. I get it, but this is also why I'm still teaching right now and not in an administrative or coaching position yet. Time will tell. So I think that's going to be it for me for today. I'm going to finish up my coffee, finish getting around. Then I think I'm going to go in early and check in on my Panther Pal, which is part of our mentoring program. I have a 4th grade friend who he has struggled a bit, but it's just him and his dad. So I've been reaching out to him anyway all year, but now I have a real excuse, and he seems to like the idea. And since I let him in on what's going on last week, I think every day this week, I have seen him come in with a smile on his face whenever he sees me. And, you know, if I can do that for even one, like I was saying in yesterday's with my other friend who's in the same class, you know, if I can shed a little light, help them find their light so that things are a little brighter for them, that's what I do. That does not mean that I accept what is going on as far as treatment of teachers. But that's not going to stop me from doing what's right and what's needed for my students either. Anyway, that's another soapbox. I'm not going to get on it. I've been on it. You've heard me. However, thank you for joining me today. Hope you have a great Friday, like I said, and don't forget to like, subscribe, all that fun stuff, because it is YouTube, you know. I don't do this to make money. I do this just to kind of share. It's also good for me to vent and reflect. So thank you for helping me with that. It's good therapy. But hey, if you enjoyed it, give it a like. If you really enjoyed it, subscribe. That way you find out whenever I post my next vlog for next week, hopefully. Come join us then, won't you? Bye.